What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and listen to King Charles' first Christmas speech ever. Wow. I've been learning more and more about British Christmas traditions recently, and one of the things I've learned is how important and iconic this speech is in Christmas, in British Christmas time. I never knew that. So, to be honest, this is the first Christmas speech I personally have ever heard or will ever hear. I know that this is gotta be a rather emotional sort of time for many people around the world because for the longest time this speech was given by Queen Elizabeth. And this is the first one given by King Charles. And I can't even comprehend what that means for a lot of people, but I do understand that must mean this speech here is pretty significant. I got the opportunity to listen to King Charles make his first address as king, and I don't know much about King Charles. I don't know much about a lot of high ranking people, celebrities, and officials in Britain, especially the royalty. But from what I could tell of King Charles, in that speech, he seemed very eloquent, well spoken, intelligent, and the words he said, or at least the speech he delivered, was quite nice. So I enjoyed that back then, and I anticipate this speech is going to be very similar. And from what I have read and understand, a good Christmas speech, touches on maybe the events of the year, maybe some of the things that are most important, and addressing some of the things looking into the future. And I'm just really interested and kind of excited to listen to this speech for the first time. So let's go.
I'm standing here in this exquisite chapel of St. George at Windsor Castle, so close to where my beloved mother, the late Queen, is laid to rest with my dear father. I am reminded of the deeply touching letters, cards, and messages which so many of you have sent my wife and myself, and I cannot thank you enough for the love and sympathy you have shown our whole family.
Wow. I'm actually glad he mentions stuff like that, receiving mail from citizens, like about the death of Queen Elizabeth and condolences and sharing emotions and stories. That must make it just so much more real for someone in his position. Well, I imagine, when you're the king and you've been royalty your entire life, I imagine it could be difficult to connect with the reality of just normal common people at times, as much as you try to stay grounded. So having mail like that and actually reading it, I actually like that.
Christmas is a particularly poignant time for all of us who have lost loved ones. We feel their absence at every familiar turn of the season and remember them in each cherished tradition. In the much-loved carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem, we sing of how in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. My mother's belief in the power of that light was an essential part of her faith in God, but also her faith in people, and it is one which I share with my whole heart.
I was kind of curious how he was going to address the death of Queen Elizabeth, his mother, sort of an unofficial mother and grandmother to a lot of people around the world, and relating it to Christmas time and how, for a lot of families, a lot of people are missing people who were important in their lives, including the Queen, and also, family members, and how that can impact everyone and relate to everyone. I actually think that's quite a nice way to kind of bring this up. And of course, the special sort of story and words that he's bringing up.
It is a belief in the extraordinary ability of each person to touch with goodness and compassion the lives of others, and to shine a light in the world around them. This is the essence of our community and the very foundation of our society. We see it in the selfless dedication of our armed forces and emergency services, who work tirelessly to keep us all safe, and who perform so magnificently as we mourn the passing of our late Queen. We see it in our health and social care professionals, our teachers, and indeed all those working in public service.
Okay. I like this. So far, I really like this. This is an emotional speech. I've never seen speeches from previous years. Maybe this goes back so far. There had to have been years that were like not so eventful. Whereas in the last couple of years, the world has been like crazy and lots of stuff had happened. But this is an emotional speech.
Whose skill and commitment are at the heart of our communities. And at this time of great anxiety and hardship, be it for those around the world facing conflict, famine, or natural disaster, or for those at home finding ways to pay their bills and keep their families fed and warm, we see it in the humanity of people throughout our nations and the Commonwealth, who so readily respond to the plight of others. I particularly want to pay tribute to all those wonderfully kind people who so generously give food or donations, or that most precious commodity of all, their time, to support those around them in greatest need.
Yeah, okay. Going into this, I had absolutely no clue what direction this Christmas address, this Christmas speech was gonna take, or because I do not personally have any reference of what topics are covered. But making this about just people and people's kindness and attitude of helping others in the world. If there's anything to use this time where basically countless people's attention are on this speech, if there's any message to use this time for, humanity's kindness towards their fellow man, and that whole message is that's a really good use of this speech. So I quite enjoy it.
Together with the many charitable organizations which do such extraordinary work in the most difficult circumstances. Our churches, synagogues, mosques, temples, and gurdwaras have once again united in feeding the hungry, providing love and support throughout the year. Such heartfelt solidarity is the most inspiring expression of loving our neighbour as ourselves. The Prince and Princess of Wales recently visited Wales, shining a light on practical examples of this community spirit. Some years ago, I was able to fulfill a lifelong wish to visit Bethlehem and the Church of the Nativity. There I went down into the chapel of the manger and stood in silent reverence by the silver star that is inlaid on the floor and marks the place of our Lord Jesus Christ's birth.
I almost forgot that this is so emotional with everything that's happened and everything he was talking about. I almost forgot this was a Christmas speech. And he's finally starting to talk about some of the religious aspects of it and visiting certain places and how it relates to Jesus and Christmas and all that stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a Christmas speech, right?
It meant more to me than I can possibly express to stand on that spot where, as the Bible tells us, the light that has come into the world was born. While Christmas is, of course, a Christian celebration, the power of light overcoming darkness is celebrated across the boundaries of faith and belief. So whatever faith you have or whether you have none, It is in this life-giving light and with the true humility that lies in our service to others that I believe we can find hope for the future.
I like that. I like that sentiment. Extending the whole message to just everyone, no matter what their culture, religion, background, whatever. This whole message of peace and happiness and goodwill to everyone. I really like that. You know, I can't help it, but with a lot of speeches from American politicians, not that King Charles is a politician, but that's what I relate it to, I guess, because we don't have anything quite equivalent to this. A lot of politicians use like teleprompters to read words, and it sounds very fake and scripted. I think I couldn't help but notice, but it seems like he's just glancing at maybe some notes. But for the most part, a lot of his speech does come across as very authentic and ad-libbed, like off the cuff, which is very impressive to me.
Let us therefore celebrate it together and cherish it always. With all my heart, I wish each of you a Christmas of peace, happiness, and everlasting light.
Okay, so we have like a choir here. Is this a normal part of the Christmas address? Since they are in this chapel after all, is there usually some kind of choir song or, oh, there's a tree. I'm gonna skip around this part just because I really just wanted this video to focus on the king's speech in particular. No disrespect to the song. It sounds quite beautiful. But I'm just going to skip around to take a look at how this all ends. Huh. Very beautiful. Wow, that is a nice room, by the way. Oh, what is this? Showing some more of the royalty interacting with people. Good to see them out in the real world, shaking hands, being interacting with little kids. That's very nice. Wow, this is really well filmed, by the way. This is like a movie. They did a really good job filming this. Wow. Very nice. Wow, I really liked that. You know, I wasn't exactly sure going into this what this speech was gonna be about. And I like that he kept it pretty brief because I think when you're given an opportunity like this, you really do have to kind of just touch a little bit on everything to actually get like important points across. So I did appreciate that. I don't know how long these Christmas speeches usually are, but this was only like 5 minutes long. It really wasn't long at all, which kind of surprised me. Are there any comments? There's got to be some comments on this. Let's check it out. God bless your majesty, long live the king. Thank you, King Charles. Speech touched my heart. Yeah, it was very good. Very touching. Powerful, delicate, and honorable speech. God save the king. God save the king. Beautiful, emotional speech. Marked by solidarity and dedication to the neediest, right? That was important. I did appreciate that. Everyone in the comments loves it. And obviously this is just an opportunity for the people of Britain, and honestly the world, everyone watching, to have like a special moment together. If this was broadcasted live on television, I'm watching it on YouTube, obviously, after the fact. But I imagine for the vast majority of people, they watch this live, which makes it a very special moment, doesn't it? Everyone tuning in live. I imagine so. And the fact that it's also got this association with Christmas Day is got to be something more special. It's not something I can relate to because this is the first time I'm actually getting to enjoy it. I don't have any association with this kind of special speech on a Christmas Day as part of tradition. So I'm trying to appreciate that aspect as well. Excellent speech. Perfection. He included everyone. Yes, I liked that. God Save the King. Yeah, okay. Well, everyone who felt like dropping into the comments and leaving a message really loved it, which is fantastic to see. It really was a good speech. Very solid. Addressed, like, basically all the points that I thought he would, except he did it, like, way better than I ever could have imagined. I was just speculating, and then he actually did it. And I think that was really good. I think for a first Christmas speech, me as an American ever getting to listen and appreciate, that was very good. So, with that being said, if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain, British culture, stuff in Britain that I have never seen or heard before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.